The law too often feels as if it is being applied in a discriminatory fashion.
But did the president, in fact, strike the right tone? Our coverage continues with Executive Director of the Black Sphere, Kevin Jackson. Kevin, good morning to you on this pretty intense morning after a night of violence erupting in Ferguson. Initially, I just want to ask you, what were your first reactions to the grand jury's decision not to indict Officer Wilson?
Well, Elizabeth, I don't think anybody caught it was a surprise by the decision. They'd given us enough breadcrumbs to understand what was going to happen. Enough of the forensic information had leaked out to know that the way Darren Wilson had called it pretty much was the way it had happened.
And what is your gut instinct here and how this was handled by the president? You know, Steve alluded to earlier today how we saw the president speaking about, being at peace for the sake of the families, yet right on the other side of the screen, we saw violence, fires being set, automobiles being turned over, highways being shut down. Did he strike the right tone?
Yeah, I thought it was completely symbolic of Obama's America, where he's saying one thing and the opposite is happening behind him. Whether it's Benghazi, whether it's the IRS, whether it's whatever the issue is, he's lying about it, and all around him, Rome is burning, so to speak. I said earlier on a program on Fox the other day that Black America does not have a cop problem. Black America has a liberal Democrat problem. When you look at the areas where all of these different conflagrations occurred, and all this strife and the looting and the loitering and all the other things that were happening, it's in cities controlled by liberal Democrats. All of the strife that's going on in these communities is created by some Democrat who's, and let's be honest, there's somebody behind the scenes here who was celebrating everything that happened last night. And the sad part, Elizabeth, is all the burning, all the things that occurred in Ferguson, these very same people are going to go back to the community and they're going to lament that there are no jobs, that there's no opportunity. But yet they're burning the town down at the behest of somebody who's sitting back sipping cocktail behind a gated community.
Well, and then you have Al Sharpton vowing to fight on. Take a listen. He says, we have to press on and fight on. And on February 5th, the president actually went to Ferguson. Was not on his official agenda. And Al Sharpton said we have to continue to put pressure here and make sure that these protests, have support that they need. Why is this happening? Why not a stronger word prior to the events that we saw? We have the police chief saying this is worse than the worst that he saw in August, Kevin.
Right. Well, you had a civil rights leader who came on, and he talked about the civil rights aspect of it, and he was exactly right that there would be people rolling over in their graves. But the real issue here is Al Sharpton's not creating any new opportunities. While he was busy planning these types of events to happen in 20-plus cities around the country, he was doing nothing proactive, because that's what leftists do. I talk about it in my book, Race Pimping, the multi-trillion-dollar business of liberalism. You think about the amount of money and the amount of energy that was spent fighting these thugs. Why are we doing this? We're doing this over the death of a kid who, according to Sharpton, is the modern-day civil rights representation for him and his ilk.
Is he not?
This is pathetic. And of course he's not. And I'm talking about Michael Brown, and neither is Al Sharpton. And let me tell you, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This was an insult to America. It was an insult to Black America specifically, because they want us to buy into this. Pardon me?
Go ahead.
They want us to buy into a narrative that the death of Michael Brown is symbolic for something. We don't have a cop problem in America. Are there problem cops? Sure. But Black America does not have a cop problem. The cops do more in our neighborhoods than they do in any other neighborhoods. We have a liberal Democrat problem.
Wow. Strong statements. Kevin Jackson, always great to have you. More Fox and Friends right after the break.